Alrighty, this is another lesson from DrawTooMuch.com with me, Legacy. This one deals with how to draw caricatures and getting a good likeness. So let's go ahead and start off with what I've been teaching you by drawing the idea of the shape of the head. Okay, once you have the basic circle, then you got to figure out where everything is in proportion, like we've done with the axis. Now obviously his axis is a little tilted. See what I'm saying here? You can, if you look at his, we grab his here, you can see a line right here. Basically you can draw a line right through his head just like that. We're going to go ahead and draw this to make sure that we have the right idea of the shape of the head. And then also, I'm just going to continue this line down to demonstrate on the chin. And then also, he's kind of looking up slightly, so I'm just going to tilt this up just a hair. And so what we want to do is we want to begin just coming up with the stuff that we need to properly line this up. So I'm just right now just sketching in the basics, not even really getting into extreme detail just yet. And we just need to remember all the proportional things that I've taught you so far about where, if you look here, how the eyebrow lines up with above the top of the ear and the nose lines up with the bottom of the ear. So in the same way, I need to make sure that that lines up on this one as well. And then also right here, how it folds in before it hits the cheek. So right here on where I'm going to put my eye line, I want to fold it in, and then I want to come out, really capture that cheek. And that comes down. Now I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. And understanding that the bottom of the ear is going to be where the nose is, I'm going to go ahead and draw in an idea of where that approximately will be. You'll see that that line there kind of follows suit with the line on his nose. Keeping that in mind, we're just going to go ahead and sketch out the basic idea of the nose and how it falls. And this is really just learning to train your eyes to see how you need to draw the people that you're drawing. I'll get a good cleft here. His looks like it stands out, and it certainly folds out more. And then that top lip, we're definitely going to have fun with that. As an artist, you get to have you take a lot of artist liberties and have a lot of fun with art in lines of what you choose to do with it. And just remember that it is your piece before you sell it, so you can enjoy it. Because what's the fun in selling the artwork if it doesn't look the way that you want it to look? Alright, now keeping in mind the eye line here, we need to go ahead and start putting in what his eye looks like. My trick that I do for every single person's eye is, even if they're really rounded on the bottom, I'll do an upper curve in the bottom. You can barely see it here on his eye, but it's there. If you got a smile going on, you will have that upper curve on the bottom part of the eyelid. Just go ahead and block in the eyebrows, and then we'll work up to the head here. He's got a kind of a high forehead, so we're just gonna, and of course for his hair, he's got pretty curly hair. Kind of comes down the side, almost cuts into the eyebrow, and then right here, he's got a little extra there. And let's go ahead and come over here, noticing that this part of his forehead kind of ducks back in, keeping that in mind, and then we'll take the hair off of that point. As you can see, this really is just about memorizing how to draw a face. All the different things on perspective that I've taught you so far, they all come into play now. Okay. We're getting pretty close before we start really inking this in, and hopefully I'm going to ink it in pretty good here before I run out of time. And sadly, the recording system that I'm using to do this does not actually give me an approximate time of when I run out of time. So keeping this in mind, let's go ahead and zoom out and take a look at our sketch, our preliminary sketch of this guy right here. That looks like a pretty good sketch of him. If this was hanging up in his house, even if it might not look exactly like him, people will be able to go, hey, that's him. So that is a good likeness. It's a decent attempt at the likeness. Let's keep that in mind as we go ahead and ink it in. And basically the idea of inking is thin to thick lines. Now, they're not going to come out so good on here because I'm going to be using this digital tablet and not actually have my tools that I use on a regular basis when I draw professionally, such as marquettes and things like that. So keeping that in mind, please bear with me as we really start inking this in. So we're going to go ahead and go like this, and like this, and like that. And basically, for anybody, I usually really define the upper eye, because you have eyelashes and things, and then I make the bottom line a lot smaller. And then keeping in mind with his tight line over the eye there, we also need to go for that here. You can see it kind of goes up and disappears into the eye, and then it folds out the other side and continues down. Now that the official sketch is done, then you need to look at the image and judge what you need to change to make sure it looks more like him. For instance, my nose right here is his nose, but it doesn't look like his nose so much. We need to kind of look at it, reshape it, consider what needs to be done. Like maybe it needs to be a bit more round. And then as it comes down here, this maybe needs to come down a little lower and work its way out here. And then this nostril comes kind of underneath and folds back up. Now it's not that low though, so let's go ahead and remove some of the nostril. You see what I'm saying? You just gotta feel it out. You gotta study your character and draw the character as they want to be seen. Don't draw them as you see them, draw them as they want to be seen. If you think that this nose is going to make him feel unflattered, then you need to work on the nose a little bit and make sure that it's a nose that he would be proud to wear. Let's go ahead and zoom out and just take a look at this, and I think we're going to stop here. Anyway, that looks great, and I'm very thankful that that turned out as good as it did. You can definitely see him in there, and what I usually do is I make him look directly at the camera, almost always. Anytime I draw any person, I don't have them looking off into the distance like he's doing. I have them looking directly at the camera, or looking directly at you. I like the whole idea of their eyes are definitely going to follow you around a room when you are walking around. Other thing about inking is ink with authority. So don't be afraid to push hard, really get a tight line, and try your best not to scrape as much as possible. You know, if you scrape too much, you get stuff like this, and then you got to go and fill in, and it just does not work out well. So as much as you can, try and keep it one smooth line and just work your way off of that. Okay, guys, well, this is Legacy with another Draw Too Much lesson from drawtoomuch.com. Thank you very much for joining me. Draw happy, enjoy your caricatures, study those likenesses. We'll look more into likenesses later as we go on and collect more lessons for you. For now, take this one, consider it, keep an eye on eyes, nose, lips, around the face, ears and eyebrows, and hair. Those are the main things that you need to keep an eye on. And really, that's everything, isn't it? Well, that's okay. Work on it a little bit at a time, and you will get there, and you can be a pro. You can draw at Disney, too. Alright, well, God bless you richly, and I will have another lesson for you coming up here very soon. Thanks, guys.